Welcome to Third Degree. In the Western Cape, vineyards and fruit orchards have gone up in flames as angry workers protest against abuse, appalling living conditions and low wages. Tonight, we tell this story from three different perspectives: the farm labourer, the farmer and the government. Producer Barbara Friedman travelled to the Cape farmlands and begins by telling the workers' story. She found these farm workers living in shocking conditions.
These are the magnificent Cape winelands, a popular international tourist destination and the heart of South Africa's world-renowned wine industry. But beneath this idyllic setting is a very different picture. Some workers on this Boland farm live here, in a corrugated iron shed, the roof leaking, old foam mattresses and beds line the walls. They have no toilets, no hot water, and no privacy.
She's basically saying that
Wat moet ons hier wel was? Kom bergen lang, am je was. Of je moet dragen span, am je was. Zodat je aan kan zien.
A few weeks ago, violent protests erupted on Western Cape farms. A nation still reeling from the shock of striking miners and the Marikana massacre watched in horror as the protesters laid waste to farms, machinery and crops. Workers were demanding better wages and living conditions. Soon, politicians weighed in, throwing about accusations and blame. Political point scoring seemed to overshadow what was really going on. In April this year, we received a tip-off about atrocious living conditions on one farm, Simonsvlei. We found this. Men and women living together in desperate and squalid conditions in this shed, not fit for human habitation. A double-story brick structure across the way was not much better. One woman who lived there showed us the leaking roof above her bed. The electrical wiring looked dangerous, surely a fire hazard. And with winter rains almost upon them, these workers were angry and upset. They told us that the farmer knew about the problems and had been to inspect the roof, but had done nothing. It was a Sunday afternoon when we arrived, and it was clear that on weekends, frustrated workers used alcohol and drugs to escape their bleak and hopeless lives. Now, months later, and after these recent disturbing protests, we went back to see if anything had changed. It hadn't. In fact, since our last visit, we were told the electricity cables had been stolen, and so even the meagre power supply that they'd had before was now gone. We went to find the farmer to get answers.
Coming up after the break, farmer Danjobert tells his side of the story.